Okay. And I'll start recording
Hello.
both places.
Martin. Hello. Duan. Yeah, Duan is joining. Nice.
Hey, Dwayne,
Oh,
good to see you.
J Taylor.
Martin.
Oh, J
Jay
Taylor is
Taylor.
joining.
Okay, cool.
Ooh. Amazing.
Yes. Yeah, this will be a really
Amazing.
really fun day. It looks like and we already have amazing people here.
So now the CDs, make a call to the CDs to join on all the station. Please, CDs, join. Don't be shy. Join.
Happy birthday, EOS.
What's that?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, EOS.
Happy birthday, EOS.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh.
4 years.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, that's
Should we
awesome.
do a go, no go?
For me, it's a go. It's a go. Yeah. What you think? We should reach consensus? Yeah, okay.
What do you mean?
Oh,
go, no, go?
Tadas. Tadas is joining. Thank you, Tadas, to join. Nice. We will have a good proposal by Tadas on August 23rd, 15:30 UTC, co-hosted with Dancing Join and me. For the proposal of Tadas. And Tadas is joining. Nice. Doug Vu.
Hey, Tadas, welcome. And Jay, welcome. Another thing, so two things. One, I'll start sharing a little presentation for anybody who's not familiar with the process that we're doing here. It seems like pretty much everybody is so far in a couple minutes. And then if Martin, Dwayne, Doug, Jay, if any of you guys can record in, or also Mark too, I don't know if I asked Mark, if any of you guys can record in OBS while we're doing this and record both the video and the Zoom chat, that would be very helpful, as that's how we're recording consensus.
Doug has an avatar.
So you want the Zoom chat, you want the chat recorded too. That's why you want to use OBS?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if there's some other app you want to use, like just a native screen recording from Mac or Windows, or whatever, then that's fine too. It doesn't have to be OBS. But basically,
no, I'm gonna try it. I just want to make sure I get it in the video if that's what you want. That's all.
Yeah, it's best to have it where the Zoom chat is in the window as well, so that we have same time, and that way it's more trustless and so forth, I think.
Right. I haven't even used OBS in this iteration of the OS, so I'm setting it up now.
Okay,
Very
cool.
easy.
Sounds good. Yeah, Patrick just learned it, and so far I think it's me and Patrick. I think Charles said he can do it. I'm not exactly sure, but as long as we have
I'm not
Charles isn't sure,
started.
maybe.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, it's not a big deal. I mean, the main time that we need it is right after the room ends, because we're going to end at 9:55, and then when we actually enter consensus, that's when we really need it. I mean, it's cool to have the video throughout the whole thing for, sharing purposes and whatnot, but that's the time when we really need to make sure we get the consensus and the video and stuff.
Doug, you seem to be from Africa with your avatar.
Hey, I'm already in the metaverse, guys. Sorry to bother you about, having to talk to you in the real world.
Sorry. We are old school guys.
I mean, I hope you don't mind me using an avatar. I mean, if you don't want me to, I don't care. I just think it's fun.
No, it's cool, your avatar.
Yeah, I think it's cool. We all know you.
It seems to be that you are in Africa with your avatar.
Plus, I can smoke cigarettes without offending anybody.
Voilà. That's the reason.
Not sure how many brown bears are in Africa.
Well, I got some other options here.
Yeah, but it's nice weather where you're at. I like it. Metaverse is a happy place.
Yeah, right.
Seems to be on Mars. No, okay.
No, I think it's somewhere in northern. I see the northern lights.
Yeah, it's like Norway or Alaska.
Anyway.
Or something.
All right, you guys. I want to have a cow.
Yeah.
You guys can have a cow now.
Okay. I think the other person, the other chipmunk or whatever, was a little bit more amiable, but the cow's pretty cool too.
Oh, now you are in Switzerland with this queue. Nice.
Can we come to consensus on this, you guys? I mean, I got more options too.
That one's cool.
This one is good.
I think that one's the best one. Yeah.
All right. We'll just go with that for now.
Definitely.
So let's go fractal style or something. I don't know.
That's pretty cool too. These all look good, although Martin looks unsure about it.
No, I'm reading, like, before we go completely off the rocker, Mark has some questions in the chat.
Yes,
And I
good
think
call.
we should address them.
Yes, would you like to address those, Martin, or would you like me to address them?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I'm glad to kick it off, but it's partly meant for more consideration rather than to try to occupy a big discussion. So because Doug has shown up with one of these alternate identities or it flirts with the subject, I'm just repeating the good question that Doug brought up about a month ago of, what's kind of the plan for all of the extra reach that the kind of Web3 identity, multiple identities and AI extensions are going to provide for productivity. What's the plan for managing those identities? So every time Doug does something like this, I think it's appropriate to put that question out there as for the midterm consideration. So I was going to say, just kidding. Really, it's not really a joke, but it's not something meant to really wreck the agenda either.
Okay, yeah, sounds good, Mark. So I think that we only have like 9 minutes before we'll head into the breakout rooms now, and we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page before then. So I think these are great questions, but these we should probably save them for after the consensus room. We'll have like probably over an hour to speak, or however long people want to, and I'll have over an hour to speak about this, if that's cool with you. And then also, what's up?
Yeah, with one caveat, that is the first question is actually a question. If I just record to the cloud on Zoom, is that sufficient for my breakout room?
So that's sufficient for like recording and sharing purposes. And I would encourage everybody to record and have it so we can share this in the future. The thing that I was talking about with recording with OBS is specifically that we want to record both the Zoom chat and the Zoom screen with our faces in the same screen. And we want to do that specifically for the time when we add our consensus, because that's taking the place of our Hive posts that we normally do with the ƒractal meeting, so we can have a good trustless way to save consensus. So I don't believe that recording in Zoom will do that, to record both of them. I think we have a few people who can do that now. If you could do that, that'd be great. And then if not, then also just having Zoom recording is helpful for a different reason, but not specifically for consensus. Make
Okay,
sense?
thanks.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Just remember to share the permissions for recording if anyone wants to record for Zoom.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty new to Zoom, by the way, guys. Does anybody want and by the way, welcome Jorge and Vlad and Ami and Marco, great to see you. Does anybody want the recording permission for Zoom that doesn't have it, or?
Yes, please give me a recording permission.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. You're welcome, Ami.
And just to understand, like, the OBS thing is not mandatory for everyone. It's just kind of the plan that everybody needs to record the screen with the chat in the moment we have consensus, or just like as many as possible.
It's just as many as possible. So it's certainly not everybody has to do it. And last time I think we only had like 2 or 3, but just the more the better.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Should I quickly go through the presentation I created that has kind of like the outline of what we're doing? I think most people are aware, but I can just quickly go through it. Okay. Sounds good. So I'll share the screen. Okay, can you all see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So feel free, we only have 5 minutes before the room starts, so feel free to jump in if anybody has any like questions or has any thoughts or anything like that, and I'll just like really quickly breeze through it because I think everybody's familiar, but if there's anything that's new, then maybe helpful. So welcome everybody. We're going to break out into breakout rooms in 5 minutes from now, and then we'll have 40-minute breakout rooms as opposed to 45 minutes, and then we'll post consensus and have a discussion for probably at least an hour afterwards. So thank you everybody so much for being here. It's very much appreciated. This is the Eden Fractal. We're empowering Eden contributors with EOS, Eden Respect, and NFTs, and we can work on like slogans and taglines. This is the second event, and we're recording in the community room right now, but everybody's welcome to record in their own rooms. And we also went through the other thing about recording with OBS with the Zoom chat, which is kind of what a lot of this presentation is about. Hope everybody will enjoy. And so the goals for this meeting is basically to help Eden, help EOS, and have fun. And so as we're saying, we're going to break down the breaking rooms into 4 minutes. Hopefully everything will work, as this is usually Joshua doing the Zoom, but I think I figured out how to do it all. So hopefully we'll make it work well. For 3 to 5 minutes, each person will share what they're doing to help Eden on EOS. And then we'll have 40 minutes to rank the contributions 1 to 6 or 1 to 5 of the people in the group who's done the most to help Eden and EOS. And then we'll form consensus with at least 66% of the, there needs to be at least 66% of the people in the group to agree, and to post the consensus in the Zoom chat immediately after the meeting. And that's why we're ending at 13:55 rather than 1400. So we'll have 5 minutes to post consensus in the Zoom chat in case anybody has to go for another meeting. There's an example here of the formatting. Basically, the rank 6 is the highest amount of, is whoever's done the most helpful contributions. And then rank 5 is whoever's done the second most helpful, and so forth. So we're going to post the EOS account names from rank 6 to rank 1 and post it in the Zoom chat after we reach consensus. We have Pascal entering the room. Welcome, Pascal, if you're here already. And everyone is helping greatly just by being here and participating. So thank you so much, everybody. And thank you. And yeah, all participants who submit consensus and reach 66% consensus earn respect, EOS, and NFTs. Although I don't know if Chuck's here yet. Chuck is the one who gives their NFT, so hopefully he'll be able to make it. But then, yep, so we'll have that. And so you can earn EOS. There's 100 EOS per week, which I'm sponsoring with Eden Creators, and Patrick is sponsoring with Nova Crypto. All this funding was raised by Pomelo and Eden on EOS. And we also are in the process of starting with multi-sig with the people who are ranked number top 6 from last week, and we can gradually decentralize it over time. If anybody has any suggestions about how this should all work, then please feel free to let us know. And then you can also earn respect. There's on-chain respect with a great contract that James Mark built, and you can earn NFTs that Chuck has been giving out that look awesome. And we'll see if Chuck shows up for now. And then last week we sent out all the EOS and respect, so the smart contract is up and running, as well as NFTs, and we can keep score and stuff like that, which is cool. But just remember that to earn the EOS and Eden respect, you need to reach 66% of consensus with your group about the order 1 to 5 or 1 to 6 of contributors in the group within 40 minutes, and then post the consensus in the Zoom chat with the following kind of formatting. So that's, I believe that's everything. So we're going to start in 2 minutes, and it would be best to start on schedule. And thank you very much. Does anybody have any like thoughts or questions or anything like that? Did that all make sense? I hope.
I do have a question. So we are not posting in Hive the result of the consensus today, but in the Zoom chat. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and like Doug said, I suppose be careful with everyone with private messages, I suppose. So hopefully
It may
we'll
not
have.
be that private.
Yes, that's true. It probably won't be.
Great.
What's so funny, Martin?
Oh, I'm wondering what's going on with Patrick's private messages. Spark my imagination.
Okay. Sounds good. Welcome, Pascal and Andrew.
Nice.
So
What do we post on the Zoom chat? Or names or Hive nicks?
Do you have an EOS account name, Jorge?
No, the EOS account, yes.
Yeah. So post your EOS account.
All right. Great.
Yep. Yeah, and just real quickly for that, Pascal's entered the waiting room, even though he's here. It's confusing. I guess he's got two different devices. But yeah, just to clarify that, so we're working on getting it set up with working like EOS, just like I did for Hive. But for now, just the easiest way, because a lot of EOS community members don't have Hive accounts, is just to post it in the Zoom chat and then record it on video.
Okay.
And it's 13:15. So if everybody's ready, then I'll start the breakout rooms now. We'll have 3 breakout rooms with 5 to 6 participants per room. And we're probably a minute late. And so remember, it'll be 40 minutes long and rather than 45 minutes long. And I'll create it now. And thanks again, everybody, so much.
Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Hey,
Pascal.
Pascal, welcome.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
And
Sorry,
Andrew
hi,
as well.
thanks. I'm
Hola.
happy to be here. Hello.
Okay, I'm opening the rooms.
Let's go. See you
See
later,
ya.
guys.
All right, see you.
Yeah.
Jorge, are you still there? Do you have any questions or problems or anything like that? You're frozen. Jorge?
Okay, so Dan, you're all over it.
What's that?
You've got the recording under control.
Yes, I believe that I do. I think so. Yep.
I don't have permission to record, so I will, and I was gonna go to record a screen recording. But since you have it, if you think that's probably low risk of not getting a recording, I won't add QuickTime screen recording.
Okay.
But
It's
if you think get the recording, then I'll go ahead and add for redundancy. What do you recommend?
I always recommend multi-recording. It's more redundancy. So that's what I'd recommend, but it's not a big deal if you can't or if it'd be difficult or anything like that. And I also just gave you permission to record local files in Zoom too, I believe. So if you want to record like that, then you can as well.
All right, thank you. And so recording now.
You're welcome. Sounds good. And hey, Marco. Hey, Pascal. And
Hi.
you, John. It's nice to meet you, Pascal. I've seen you posting a lot around and seen you, but never met, so it's cool to meet you. Thank you.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Cool. Sounds great. Would anybody like to start first with sharing what you're doing to help Eden on EOS? Or I can go first if everyone prefers.
Maybe I can start. In here, I'm joining the meeting. Firstly, I joined Eden on EOS in August. It was very interesting and a great community, I think. So I'm from Turkey. Also, I'll say in here, people don't know about an EOS and EOS community, also an Eden and EOS. In here, we are talking and we are telling the people who is supporting EOS and who is the community backs up the EOS. We are talking and we are telling about the EOS people in Turkey, what's it and what Eden, what is Eden on EOS. We are making awareness in Turkey. You know, it has largest. We can say it has the largest places in Turkey. People are searching it, and also people don't know and also about EOS. They are supposing that EOS is a China coin and it's Ponzi. They are saying that. As a member of Eden EOS, we are talking and we are telling and we are saying this. And also, I am the members of B community, as you know it, B community. We are writing the correct things and about foods, fats, you say. And I'm why I am here because I want to learn about ƒractal and the members. Here is the chance for me, I think. So I am very happy to hear and to listen you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you very much, Yuja. And it's great to meet you. And thanks for sharing your work and so forth too, and all the great things you're doing from Turkey, I believe you said.
Thanks.
Cool. Would anybody else like to go next? Sorry if I was a bit distracted there. I was also working on admitting Chris Barnes into another group and talking with Chuck too. So if anybody else would like to share next or anything like that, or share any comments, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, maybe I will go if you want. So hi everyone, I'm grateful to be here. Mostly I'm here today for the first time, and the purpose of being here is to support this idea of ƒractal on EOS. So I was a member of Eden at the beginning, and I have so many members that I brought into Eden. So initially my idea blockchain to launch ƒractal governance was EOS. So when I learned that the Eden community is launching a ƒractal on EOS, I just said, okay, I have to support this idea because as a member of ƒractal also, the original ƒractal, having these two community experience, this governance model is a good thing. So I want to thank Dan for that, for this initiative, honestly. So this week, nothing special. I just published that I want to be here today, and just inform the members that I brought into Eden community that they have to be active again because Eden will be launched on EOS. So it's an honor to be here. So thanks. So if I have a question, I will. But I'm based in Montreal, and I've launched when Eden was launched. I launched the local Eden EOS here in Quebec, in the province. So we have a website running, and then we have the business model is a membership. And then the idea was to bring this idea into locally, because people understand when they say, okay, this is how your governance works, and they want to be like, they have a sense of membership when they can see exactly who are the people that run this thing. So we had this locally, and usually explain the idea, the governance, and people love it. People love the idea of decentralized governments here in Montreal. It will catch up. It's just that we need to make things work. So thanks.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Pascal. And yeah, I'm honored to meet you as well too, and I really appreciate all that stuff. So thank you. Would you like to nominate somebody else to go next? Did you hear me, Pascal?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I was saying thank you so much. And then I also asked, would you like to nominate anybody else to go next?
Good. I will go for Marco.
Hey everybody. I've seen everybody here except for Jorge and Lucille. I believe Jorge run into you somewhere in the chats. I put in two things. Fractally and video goes together, so eventually, I don't know what the ultimate bylaw is on it, but we want to know the people. There's a, for double checking and everything. But more than that, I'm a strong believer in, since I'm in aviation, that the first mover is, to me, is it can make or break everything. But it's a big deal, I believe, that everybody believes in. So when you get a new region that I haven't heard of anybody being from Turkey. I believe that's a huge deal and something we want to attract. As for myself, I write weekly an Eden section in a newsletter, US Weekly. I'm now more invested in Eden than I am in EOS, in discussions and things like that. I rarely even visit the EOS chats anymore because of how big Eden is getting. The latest things I've been doing is part with the ETF, the EOS Translation Foundation, and a move to raise the community's voice. I tapped at Flash Consensus and thought it would link nicely with the Vanilla project I brought in. I thought it would link nicely with Fractally, and merely prepared statements would be voted on before discussion, and then the winner will be promoted. I was motivated to do that because the ENF, while, if you're aware, started from a core group of developers. So it's a community thing, but anytime you get centralization, there's danger. The reason why is one independent mind or one independent source can't satisfy the needs of the rest. Even children grow up to outlive their parents. So when you have that one source, you could try to treat everybody as your child, but that never goes well. So raising the community's voice, I believe, is a big deal, and that crosses over into a few things. Most recently, Dan pointed out some of the dangers of Eden's aggressive move to declare independence and some of the legal ramifications it could mean. I believe if the community's voice was raised, maybe things would have progressed a little bit clearer or faster in terms of meeting the legal requirements. So all that's wrapped into my channels and many projects. And I'll pass it over to Jorge so I can remember him.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. I'm Jorge Ramos. This is my first Eden on Fractally breakout room, but I've been, however, going to the initially Fractally sessions. I am a physicist by formation, and last week I've been working in. Well, I'll post this on Hive. It's not the whole model, but a mathematical introduction to, well, a mathematical first steps towards a model of the whole Fractally protocol. I'll post on some probability distributions of what I think should be some of the parameters, and I'll hope it will be out by either today or tomorrow on Hive or PICD. And I'm really honored and happy to be here. I think that both Eden and Fractally, separately, they have their own weaknesses, but the combination of Eden plus Fractally is much more stronger. So that's why I'm here. I am hoping to help you all guys to reach consensus. And that's it. And I'll pass the baton to whoever is left, probably Mr. Singjoy.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Jorge. And I very much appreciate it, of course. I also wanted to ask real quick too, if you, Joe, would mind turning on your camera. I don't know if you're able to, but it would be cool to see you if you're able to. But I suppose I'll just start the presentation too that I have And I'll just jump right into it. So cool. Yeah, thanks so much, everybody. It's so awesome to hear. It's so awesome to be here and meet you all here. And it's so awesome to hear everybody sharing inspiring things about the Eden community and ƒractal community. And I totally agree. I'm super excited to see these working together. I've been working quite a bit on making these work. So I'll just share like a brief introduction or a brief highlight of stuff that I've been doing over the past week. So I've been working on the edenfractal.com website, which I suppose you guys have probably seen, and just making it so people can easily RSVP, going to make it better in the future. I also put together that presentation in the beginning to help introduce people to this, and kind of because Joshua Seymour wasn't super interested in doing it. So I'm learning how that works. I also got the Zoom plan to help host these meetings in the future. And if anybody else wants to help like play a big leadership role in whatever amount, please feel free to reach out. And there's lots of things we could do. I purchased the Eden ƒractal account, and then this week James Mart, he built a smart contract. I worked with him a bit, and we sent out the EOS and the Eden, which is really cool. It's all on chain. And then I also created this tweet with the Eden ƒractal to just show like what's been going on to help promote the event. I think it's really cool that people can see that they earn the EOS and the respect and the NFTs. And then I also retweeted. I don't know if maybe Pascal's familiar with Eden EOS Quebec, because you said you're from Montreal. It's a big country, so probably not, but I retweeted a tweet from them, which is really cool. I also spoke about the Eden ƒractal on the EOS Fireside chat this week, and I spoke about it for like 5 minutes and just kind of gave people some updates about things. Let's see. Okay, cool. We can speak about that in a bit, Mark. That sounds good. And I'd like to.
My first Eden ƒractal meeting, and that's not to be confused with the kind of free and open meeting we had on Sunday, because this is an actual productivity meeting, like a ƒractal style consensus meeting. And so this is like the third meeting that I'm aware of. And the first meeting that, or the second meeting that I've come to, you know, and the first consensus meeting that I've come to. So I attended this past Saturday, and also, you know, like with ƒractal and Eden, I'm very involved, I think you could say, in both. ƒractal, I'm involved in really engaging with the platform to help create it as a user and a tester. And from Eden, you know, I was a Genesis Eden member, not to be confused with a Genesis Eden founder. So I'm a Genesis member, and I voted in all the pre-official elections, and intend to continue, you know, and I stay up to date. So for example, right now with the word was aggressive, I think that maybe Dan, you had said the aggressive idea that Eden take ownership of the group, and then the challenge by Dan Larimer this week. So we were able to do good work in understanding that a bit, and realizing that this is a very relevant task, you know, necessary for the community's consideration. So also across the board, I work with translation in hoping to make a significant contribution to solving the bandwidth issue for our global multilingual community of communities. So we've set up a foundation because there are many players in solving this problem. And we want to be the eyes and ears and the kind of smartest across the board group. And so we've set up the EOS Translation Foundation. We're using Fractally. We're using the Translation Foundation to test Fractally. And we're using Fractally to support the effort and the mission to increase that bandwidth. So in this new, I don't know if it's going to be characteristic of Web3, but I can tell you it's characteristic of EOS and EOS.io, and that there's all this overlap of all these different communities. And the decentralized nature, I think we're going to need, we may benefit from acknowledging a rewiring of civilization. It may happen. And I think we're looking at that from an early on perspective. And there's a lot of like clues as to how the future will look with this new way to be civilized. So with governance on Eden and Fractally on coordination and say translation on communication, and we could toss a couple other things out there, but I think that gets my point across that the productivity items all overlap. I don't want to cheapen what I've said by going down the list of items that we engaged with this past week, like, for example, adding a team member to our translation effort, or our thoughts on Pomelo round 3. So without further ado, I'll leave it at that and say that we are an active team for the EOS and EOS.io greater communities regarding translation. And we're also supporting Eden Crawl, Walk, Run. And we're also supporting Fractally, which is now supporting Eden Crawl, Walk, Run. Because Fractally, our team purpose speaks to the Fractally platform helping our team to coordinate and to create sustainable model for funding. And so Fractally is going to help Eden do that also. And so that's a really cool contribution. It's a very subtle contribution, just like showing up here, as we all have, is very valuable. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks there. And as a side note, Pascal, it's really cool to be in a meeting with you.
Thank you, Mike.
I saw you with the Violet Garden, and I always saw your posts and met you kind of a little bit through that. But I've never been in a room to say hi. So.
All right, thanks. I appreciate that one also.
Okay.
I saw you.
Yeah. Okay, and so that's it. I'll back out now, and we'll go into, I think, into consensus.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Mark. I would like to just ask first, because I'm just learning how to use Zoom. I tried to broadcast a message that said 20 minutes remaining. Did you guys see that when that was posted a few minutes ago? No?
I did not. I may have missed it.
Okay.
So 21 minutes.
You saw that?
I don't see it.
Let me try putting it again so people are familiar. I'll say 15 minutes.
I do know we're 24 minutes into this meeting.
Yeah.
And that's a continuous time that I have displayed.
Did you guys see 15 minutes? 15 minutes left?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, cool. Thank you for confirming that. And then also I'll just answer quickly. So Jorge asked, what's the multi-sig for managing Eden Fractal funds and what are the details of the smart contract? So we can go into more detail about that after the breakout room, but basically, yeah, I suppose it's for just managing the funds that we wanted to get set up because Patrick wanted to donate the 500 EOS and we didn't want to worry. It was just, sending it to me. We wanted to have it where it's trust lists and so forth. So if anybody else in the future wants to donate funds or anything like that. And then also just to have the smart contract more secure. Smart contract basically makes like the Eden respect on chain and does a lot more too that that James is aware of. He also built in a feature where you could sign like a Eden contributor agreement, kind of like the ƒractal contributor agreement. So that's kind of like a high level overview, but I hope it answers your question and we can go into more detail after, I suppose, or if you have any other quick questions about it. Hope that makes sense.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And yeah, would we like to start figuring out the rankings and reach consensus about that?
I need everybody's EOS account, right?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, okay. I'll just change my name. It's gonna be easy.
So how would we like to do it? Should we just type in everybody's name at the same time, or would anybody like to do it a different way or nominate or something?
Can we go like count 1, 2, 3, and everybody post at the same time his number 6, his top option for the week, and then the same for 5.
I like it. I like to add the can't vote for ourselves to force everybody to think of everybody else's contribution.
Well, I don't know if we should have that second part, because I mean, if somebody feels like they did the most or more or whatever, then I feel like they should be able to vote for themselves. But I don't know, that's also maybe a creative way. I just never thought of it before. I don't know, what does everybody think about that?
A few times. The thing that I didn't start it, someone else did. The thing that got me hooked on it was after the person votes for themselves and they don't get it, and the next round they're looking to vote for themselves as well. So they really don't take part in the second round of consensus. If you're forced to think of yourself, think of others, there's 5 other people, so you alone can't take it. I like the idea. I like it so much that I was going to propose to set it as an option for when you get into the room, allow vote for self or not, like as part of the ƒractal UI. But I throw it out there, whatever the consensus is here on that. But the 3, 2, 1 works for me.
Yeah, I'd also like to speak to that. I have pretty passionate feelings, but I think I may be incorrect. My feelings are that I would like to be able to vote for myself always. And but I may be wrong. I like the new idea. I was first introduced to it this past Saturday, and I haven't thought much about it other than it looks like it trips us up. If you're not able to vote for yourself, then there's never unanimous consensus, or at least there's a significant amount of non-unanimous consensus. So, because yeah, I think the rule was I couldn't vote for myself, or somebody couldn't vote for themselves, and then it was unanimous.
It did. We canceled each other out. So it gets tough at the when there's less involved. But community thing. The first one is not the tough one. The first one, maybe it's forgotten about or waived. But after the first one, whoever didn't get in carries it down, and then they lose track of the contribution of others. But
and then
only an option.
We can also change our opinion after asking the question. I'm mostly like open to the discussion. Why do you think this person had 5 or 6? So if people give their opinion, we can change our opinion if we have time. So just keep it on.
Confirm in the chat. I think we need yourselves editors.
Okay. Yeah, can you please share that, Yujel? So I think we're in agreement that we'll do the 3, 2, 1 system. And
yeah,
okay, sounds good. And thank you, Yujel. And then as far as the voting for yourself, I guess I'm kind of on the same page as Mark. Sounds like an interesting idea, and I'm happy to try if everybody wants to. But also, I don't know if it'll take us longer to reach consensus, and I just haven't really thought about it much. So I don't know, does anybody have any thoughts about that? I think Pascal also agreed with Mark too, that he'd prefer not to do it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I agree with what Mark said.
Okay.
And I understand that voting for ourselves can be a breakthrough during it can help, but we can discuss later if you have questions to say, okay, why do you think you have to be number 6? So the person can answer and it will change our opinion.
We already done that, though.
Yeah. So
Haven't we come into this meeting selling ourselves for number 6? So we've kind of already voted for ourselves.
Well, kind of, not necessarily.
If
I
the
mean,
community wants it, let's go. I'm not pushing it. I said, I just only want it as an option.
okay. Thank you. Jorge, sorry if I speak too fast. I can speak slower if you want. And sorry, I'm in a bit of a hyped up mode, trying to figure out the Zoom call and everything like that at the same time. But if there's any ever time that I'm speaking too fast and you can't understand it, then please feel free to let me know and I'll go slower. And then flash consensus, all in favor of being able to vote for yourself, then raise your hand. I'll raise my hand. I think that's an interesting thing to try in the future, Marco, and I thank you for bringing it up. But I feel like it's just simplest to be able to vote for ourselves right now. So that's what I'll say right now.
So it's 3 and 3 then.
So I see only 3 hands out of 6 people. I agree, Marco. We've only got 3 people holding their hand up, but Dan is no longer holding his hand up.
I will do the breakup.
Oh, okay. Well, that looks like 3.
4.
Okay. Now with Dan's flash hand, I'll assume that's a continuous hand. That's 4 out of 6.
That's 5 out of 6. Okay, cool. So we're on that, and we should reach consensus quickly.
5 out of 6. Yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, we only have like 7 minutes left. So do we want to submit the number 6 vote now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll type and then we'll wait, right?
I nominate Dan Singleton for number 6.
Who's doing the counting?
Do we have a second? Or does
type.
anyone want to nominate someone besides Dan?
I'm just gonna.
Let's start for the first one first.
We're doing 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
3.
roger that.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we have 4 votes. Have Jorge and
You said didn't vote.
Yusel didn't vote.
So we don't have consensus.
Is Jorge frozen?
4. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Corey's frozen. I don't know about you, so.
And you, Joe, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, can you please submit your vote for number 6 in the Zoom chat or say it?
There it is.
Okay, cool.
All right, we have
Thanks, Jorge.
consensus on Dan.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everybody.
All right, 4 minutes left. So let's go.
Let's go faster.
Minutes left.
Yeah, I'm putting on a message now that there's 6 minutes left because we started a minute late.
All right.
Okay. Number 5. I don't really know who to vote for. I suppose you don't have much time to talk about it. Does anybody?
Well, 3, 2, 1 is what we've been doing for the other ones as well, and some of them.
Okay.
By nominating someone to go after you, you're almost recommending it, which I never liked, but I know someone done it, so maybe we need to take a vote on that.
Okay, so let's just do. I suppose let's keep it simple and then just do 3, 2, 1, and I'll just make my decision really quickly, and I suppose everybody else can as well. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. 3, 2, 1.
All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. We haven't had a vote from Ugel. And Ugel, do you understand how we're doing? Okay, so Marco, so it's split. It's split 3
4
and
to
3.
2.
Oh, is it 4 to 2?
Third
No.
is 4 to 2. Yeah.
No,
I'd like to change my vote to Marco. That should make it Marco 4. Is that true?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
get it.
All right, ready for 3, 2, 1. Dan, take it away.
Okay.
We're voting for number 4 now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Marco was number 5.
Who was number 5? Erdman?
Yeah.
No, it's Marco.
Marco.
Okay.
Okay.
Recommend 3, 2, 1 count for number
Okay.
4.
Is everybody ready for number 4? And we'll start in.
Hey, you sounded like one of those astronaut announcer guys. That was really good.
Yeah, I love it. You don't go very fast. We're not a team.
Okay.
2, 1.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, yeah. I'll change my vote to myself.
Okay. So I guess that Mark has consensus there. And by the way, this is difficult as it always is, because I think that Jorge and Pascal and Ugel are all doing really great work too. So I'll just say that and just say thanks, a big thanks to everybody once again.
It's always been toughest at the bottom. If anything needed innovation, it might be there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jorge just Jorge just left.
We are working on the 3-minute window.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't know where Jorge went.
Recommend a 3, 2, 1 for number 3.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm ready to, I suppose.
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
This one needs discussion. We got.
We need to sell ourselves.
So
I can change it to you, so.
well, Pascal has 3 votes right now.
How does it?
And Jorge has 2 votes, and Yusel has 1 vote. So and Mark changed it to Pascal. So now Pascal has 4, I believe.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. And now Jorge's back, it looks like. Jorge, can you hear us?
I'm back. Sorry, I lost my internet. I lost.
All right, inside the
electricity here.
2-minute window.
Okay. I'll put a message, 2 minutes left to make sure everybody knows. And now, so Jorge, we ranked Pascal as number 3. I hope that's cool with you. And then we'll move on to ranking number 2.
Okay.
Sound good? Okay. Okay, is everybody ready? And I'll count down to 3. 3,
Ready.
2, 1, go. Okay, it looks like it looks like Jorge has 5 out of 6, and so Jorge's number 2, and then Yujel will be number 1. And I'll write everybody's names in here so we make sure we get it correctly.
Oops,
Yeah, thanks for the names, the EOS account.
disregard that. I was trying to organize it. Yeah, we got it. Is that right?
Yeah,
Pascal.
yeah, my one is right. My account is right. Jorge, I don't see his account.
It's Immortal
Account is in
44.
My name. Immortal.
Oh, no. Wait,
Okay.
Mine is Mockwire.
Okay, so mine is right. One account is missing. So we have 6. 1, 2, 3.
I think it's
4,
Yusel's
5.
address, right?
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
account is
Okay, I
missing.
just put it in there.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank
Okay,
you.
awesome. Just
Okay.
copy paste. Yeah.
All right, cool. So we have 50 seconds. I don't really know. I think we're over the time right now. We may be yanked
Yeah.
anytime.
So I'll hit the close rooms button now, and I believe that will give us 60 seconds to just say parting words and so forth. So I'll hit now, and then yeah, close our rooms. Participants remain 60 seconds. 59 seconds, right? Okay, cool.
I'd like to, I don't know if you're gonna say something, Dan?
I was going to say just thank you so much to everybody. And I was also going to mention to you, Jill, again, I don't know if you heard, but it would be great to be able to see you next time if you're able to. But thanks for participating, and thanks everybody so much for joining and all the amazing work too. And yeah, thank you so much.
Quick last subject. It looks like we don't have 4 out of 6 that have that sequence here in the chat.
Okay, sorry. I have to post mine too, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look like we have consensus.
Okay.
Okay.
We just got it.
And we'll also
okay.
do that
There's 4 out
after,
of
too.
6. I see myself, Pascal, Marco, Jorge, and Dan all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
See you. Bye.
Andrew, you have to be careful with the double point.
Hi, guys.
Hey, guys.
I'll-
Are we good
Yeah.
to post consensus? Are we good to post consensus? Everybody recording? Those that want to record? Dan?
Oh,
Yeah,
double
sorry,
point.
I was muted. And yeah, now is a good time for everybody to post consensus into the Zoom chat. And if anybody is able to record it with OBS, then that'd be much appreciated, just to make the consensus more reliable.
So everyone from each room posts the consensus.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and we have to make sure that at
In
least
the correct format. The correct format.
yeah, and then we're kind of doing the format a little bit different, which is fine as long as
We have tricked with the double point.
as long as everybody understands that 6 is first and 1 is at last. Then
Okay.
that's cool.
You see, I have double points at the end of some lines, but you will understand. Yeah.
Hey, oh, Marco's got something to say.
Okay.
Yeah, no, when everybody's settled in, it was a fractally eat thing.
I just want to mention real quick to you, Dan, it looks like you're using a paid version of Zoom. In the
Yes.
paid versions of Zoom, you can do a live transcript. So I tried requesting it, and if you enable it, everybody's voice in real time will be transcribed
Okay. Interesting.
into so basically part of what we're doing with the EOS Translation Foundation is dealing with video formats and subtitles. There's something called the SRT or a VTT format, which has to do with the time stamping of sequencing of audio conversations in a video. So the live captioning feature could help in the recording process. When you have verbal discussions, it'll actually automatically, because it's very difficult to go through a video and have to listen to it all to figure out what was being said.
Okay. Sounds
But if
good.
you have that, you could search through it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Doug. And we'll, I see the notification and we'll discuss that more, but I did notice that we only have, I think, 12 people who have submitted consensus in the Zoom chat, maybe 13 now. So we have 18 people or so. So right now, I don't believe that we've had enough submissions. So if everybody can please submit your consensus in the Zoom chat, then that would be helpful, because if the rooms don't receive at least 4 to 6 consensus, then people don't receive the EOS or the Eden respect. We need to make sure we have at least 4 to 6 people posting in the Zoom chat from each room. And I see, and thank you. So Jorge, Ami, and Patrick, and Chris, and so I think we might have 17 now. And I see Charles has his hand raised up. Would you like to say something, Charles?
Yeah, thanks. So there was a question among our team. I think it's a question that comes up a lot. Which contributions do we value here in the Hydrogen Fractal? So I have my opinion on this. I wanted to share with you if we can get clear on this. So I have participated in 2 fractals now. I have participated in the main fractal, which is a prime fractal. A prime fractal is dedicated to promoting the creation of other fractals. So within the Fractally team, I have my own team, the French team, which goal is to promote the Fractally governance system and promote the creations of other fractals here in France, for example. So when I come up at Fractally meetings, I contribute and I say which contributions did I do to the Fractally team, to this goal to promote other fractals. Here in the Eden Fractal, it's the same thing that we've done before with the governance system with Eden. It's just every week. So I think we should be discussing each time when we go on the meetings, which are our contributions to the EOS ecosystem. So not talking about what we did for Fractally or other things. Here in the Eden Fractal, the contributions that we value are what did the members do for EOS, which are the most respected members of the EOS community, which have done the most contributions. So there was small questions within my group. So what do we talk about? Contributions to Fractally, contributions to EOS. So that's my opinion on this. For the Eden Fractal, Eden values the contributions to the EOS ecosystem, which are the respected members of our community that we value. So that's not, we are not a prime fractal as described in the white paper, in my opinion. A prime fractal is dedicated to creation of other fractals. So that's the Fractally main fractal, which has already been created. But here at the Eden Fractal, we're not prime fractal, in my opinion. We're just a fractal among others dedicated to the promotion and development of the ecosystem and its governance. So that was my opinion on this. I wanted to share it with you all, see what you think about all this to make it clear for everyone. Thanks.
Yeah, sounds great, Charles. Thank you. And I see Felix has his hands up. Would you like to respond to that, Felix?
I know Marco had his hand before me, so if he wants to go first.
No, go ahead. I got another meeting. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, so what I think would be beneficial for this fractal is at the end of every meeting, we should discuss what we want to achieve for next week within this fractal. So, you know, one thing that comes to mind is right now we're posting these rankings. What's a way that we can integrate that with EOS? And you know, that's a proposal. I think what would be interesting is we could do different proposals of like what we would like to see for next week and what's actually possible given, you know, everyone who's here and what's everyone's willing to contribute. But if we can kind of start to get some direction and reach consensus on like what we would like to see from this fractal next week, then we can hold everyone here accountable to that. And then that's what we're ranking our you know, next week on is basically what we decided on here. And I think we should just do that weekly because then that actually narrows down the vision a little bit more concrete. And I get, yeah, that's kind of just my opinion and viewpoint on that, and I guess proposal. So I just put that out there, and yeah, I like to open up, you know, this discussion to everyone here too, because this is an important conversation to have. Because yeah, I see this being like fractals becoming mini and being project based or you know proposal based, and yeah, we need to like basically in Fractally we just started this last week doing. The top 6 is like a little council board, and so they vote on proposals. And then I think if we do something kind of similar, we can kind of from that point, you know, collectively as a group, lay out a roadmap kind of. So.
Yep. Sounds good, Felix. And yeah, I think we're in an interesting situation and like a really exciting situation with this fractal where we can like collectively decide the purpose of it. I mean, I think that the purpose should basically be to help Eden and help EOS, and we can all like decide that. And I think that growing fractal governance and like sharing, you know, principles and work with animals and so forth is also a big part of that. But I'm interested, you know, to discuss these things and see what everybody thinks. And Marco has his hands up too. And Patrick is laughing for some reason.
Yeah. So 2 things important. Definitely what Felix said. That probably would be the target of innovation. is Felix said, and the ranking of the 1, 2, and 3s that gets difficult. Something that just came up this week was, which I was hoping Chuck would be here, the Declaration of Independence, and where the governance impact of both ƒractal here, what we're doing here, and the chief delegates move to set a new, I guess, dynamic. I think that should be a topic here, especially since they coincide. Pascal also put in the chat, Eden is anio, EOS means respect, should go to the people working. The one thing I would be cautious of, but I think it'd be taken care of with the prime fractals, is when the respect token moves out of fractally. If anything needs clearing up, these are things that are just developing. I'll go into any of them as far as my thoughts, but I'm not final on any of them. I don't think I have enough info on it yet.
Okay, thank you, Marco. Pascal, would you like to speak? I think you muted, Pascal.
Okay, it's okay. Okay.
Yep.
Hi everyone. So regarding what Charles just said, I believe we should be precise on what we are working on. I came here because Eden is built on EOS. So if Eden is built on EOS and then we want to adopt fractally governance process, we should be giving respect to those working on this goal, on this mission, we can call it like that. Fractally gonna have its own blockchain, as we know of today. So I believe when I participate in Fractalis, the original like blockchain, when it will launch, my respect will be because I'm promoting Fractally governance process on the Fractally blockchain. So yeah, I'm on EOS today. So my contribution, it's what I've done to promote Fractally governance on EOS blockchain. So this is the way I see it. Things may change, but if we don't make it clear at the beginning, even for ourselves, it will be very difficult because we navigate all those terms and then we fail at some point. That's what I wanted to mention. So we are on EOS. Please just make it clear that it's on EOS. So it makes things easy to everybody. Thanks.
Do you, I see Dwayne and Martin have their hands up, so feel free to jump in, guys. But I was curious, by that, Pascal, do you mean like that the focus of the fractal should be on EOS as opposed to like being on more specifically Eden? Or you said on EOS, but I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that.
Because as of today, we are Eden. Okay. Now I would assume that maybe 80% of this team, as we are Eden member, I'm an Eden member. So I expect that my contribution in this, what we are building, is to say, what have you done to promote fractal governance system on EOS? Because Eden is already built on EOS. So we are just continuing what we started, let's say 1 year ago, using this new process that Dan came in, based on proof of contribution. The one we have today in Eden is proof of promise. So people are getting paid and they promise that they will do things. Now, if we deploy fractally on Eden, it means people will be getting paid based on their contribution. So we are deploying the same fractally governance as described in the fractally white paper. So it's my understanding why I'm here. Now, we can have, I don't know, we can have like an Eden fractal on fractally blockchain. Okay, it's possible to say, okay, we want to go create a group, a team there, and then also promote this idea on that team. It's possible. But our primary goal should be, in my opinion, promoting fractally on EOS. It should be clear in the beginning so that we don't, yeah, so we know why we are allocating this respect, you know, otherwise we can just be giving money out. So it's my, what I think. Yeah.
Cool. Sounds great. Thank you very much for sharing, Pascal. Much appreciated. I see Dwayne and Marco too. Feel free to share your thoughts.
I agree, Pascal. And then just some thoughts on how to bridge what other value that this fractal can bring is that if we're already Eden members, a lot of us have invited people to Eden. So if we can show them that this is this can bring some value to them as an Eden member, and then maybe we could throw our support or at least discuss and make sure the people we've invited are up to date on what the chief delegates and the other delegates have done. So we can have sort of a recording so that for the next Eden election, we're an informed group. So if we just had, the talks and discussions around this, informing us of what the people we've already invited are already voted for in Eden, just the delegates and chief delegates, and we can get our support behind it. Maybe this can be a nice collaboration in the future of us being an active team supporting them. So just some thoughts. So yeah, the proof of promise, but also showing the value to the people we've invited to Eden that this is giving value.
Anybody wants to react on Dwayne, or should I go next?
Yeah, I have a comment on that subject, if that's what you're asking, Martin.
No, I also wanted to stay on the subject. I was just, if you go directly to something that Dwayne just said, then that's fine.
No, I was going to think of the original
Okay.
Pascal proposal and talk about two thoughts on that after you.
Cool. Yeah, for me, I see, like last week, we decided that everybody can join these meetings. The only thing you need is an EOS account, right? And we want to introduce people to fractal governance and therefore bring people in. And I think when we're limiting our scope of contributions from the get-go very narrow, that's a limitation that's kind of crippling us. I think participating in fractal governance, which is like very new, is already a contribution. Going through this process and iterate and giving feedback on how we feel and how we do the ranking, that's already valuable. And I think we shouldn't exclude people that are not experts in fractal governance yet and contribute only on improving fractal governance. That's my personal opinion. I think we can prioritize contributions that are fractal governance focused, But if you, let's say, make the onboarding easier or do workshops or introduce or help creating accounts so more people can join, that's really bringing also value, I think, because then more people can potentially learn about fractal governance or learn about Eden or learn about Fractally and join these meetings, right? So that's my position. I liked what Felix said in our group. He said, let's just say what we did last week. I just paraphrased what he said. Let's just say what we did. And then the group decides, how do we value this? What's the value of this contribution? And I think that encourages people to just have free talk, have the conversation, and get to know each other and create synergies. And I think that's kind of the core value of these weekly meetings. We're building a community, and we shouldn't exclude people that are just starting to learn about what we contribute. And I see, the prime fractal is probably just very focused on fractal governance. It's in the name already. We need to maybe have a counterweight to this. Otherwise, we're just building the same thing on two chains, and I don't think there's value in that. Yeah, that's basically my point on that. Thanks.
Yeah, and so I'll go now, unless someone was going to say something just now. Heard.
I was going to say, sounds great, and thank you. And I think that Martin makes really good points. But yeah, please, Marco.
Yeah. Well, when Pascal said his suggestion or thoughts on going directly to EOS as a fractally group, the first thing I thought of is there's a lot of value right now to the architecture of Eden. So it would look like it reduces to an integration problem. And that's an architecture problem. So the question is more like, how do we re-architect this so that we streamline the new organizations that we have, like to reorganize them a little bit to align them a little bit better. But the good news is that we've built, we got three major entities, the EOS, the Eden, and the Fractally. And so we would just want to focus on, how to re-architect it. And we may be at that point where we can start discussing that. So I think that's my takeaway from what Pascal introduced.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Okay, so I guess some things that's coming to mind for me right now is I think, I guess as a proposal, so like I think next week so this week, I think everyone here, we can think about what we would like to see the direction of this this fractal to go, and then next week we vote on that proposal, and so then basically then our top six from each, top 6 and 5 maybe, or top 6, I guess depending on what you guys want to do. At the end of this group, we'll be able to discuss what we reached consensus in the prior group, and then using those, I guess you could say the next tier, to vote on, well, what direction should we go based off the different proposals. And I think our proposals, well, I mean, I guess we'll see how they would go, but I would think that I would like to see the proposals ranked higher, the ones that are more, I guess, drawn out and thoughtful, as far as like, okay, well, like, for example, if I see, like, for me, if I see this Eden fractal being like, okay, this is the main fractal of Eden, and I think the I guess kind of the short-term goal here is to really establish like the possibilities of, okay, this becomes the main form of the Eden fractal, and so if it can capture a lot of more of the funding from other chief delegates and delegates, we can start to incorporate teams that are more structured towards different fields, so like content, software development, just kind of what the Eden member services, like that's kind of like where my headspace is. So like what I think I need to do personally was I need to draw out this proposal of what I think, and then I'll present this next week to the group that I'm in, and then I think if everyone else kind of does that, then we can vote on that, and then that will be kind of a way for this whole group to kind of reach consensus of, well, what way do we want to go with this Eden fractal, so that we can start to like I said, lay down those milestones and objectives of going about that. But I also think we need to propose things that we also would be willing to do. I think that's very important too. We can't just propose things in hopes that somebody's going to pick up the slack. We need to know what we have here. So whether that's me reaching out to other people, like if I reach out to some of our developers here and ask some questions like, hey, do you think you could do this? If I were to propose this, like, is this something that you'd be willing to do? Like if you were to take on this workload, you're going to be valued higher, like in every single week, because you're carrying the heavier load of the primary objective of our Eden fractal. So I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of, I guess, my proposal is we all here have a chance to come up with our own proposals, and then that's what we vote on next week. And yeah, then we're taking actionable steps, and then I think by doing this, we can really establish ourselves and potentially, like, I don't see why we can't get more funding. The more EOS that we have in this fractal that gets distributed every week is going to draw more attention, but rightfully so, we also need to be delivering on the on what's being funded. So but if we have clear objectives that we can start to hold each other accountable for, I don't think delegates or chief delegates are going to mind just they can do it once a week. Like Patrick is putting in 500, but it's going to be distributed throughout some time. Same with Dan. But there's nothing stopping us from a chief delegate saying, okay, I'm going to throw in 500 this week. Let's see. Let's have that distributed this week, and see what type of engagement, excitement, and contributions that brings towards the fractal going into that following week that the funds are supposed to be distributed. Any thoughts?
I like the idea of of these proposals, because it gives the opportunity not just for the whole fractal to decide on a decision. Basically, we can form different initiatives and groups of people working in one direction and then create accountability around that one. The question that I'm having is, like, when you talk about these proposals, do you have a framework in mind or a way how we can submit these proposals and rally around them throughout the week? Because right now I hear proposals, but I don't know how to submit it.
Yeah, so we could, I think we have the Discord group, so I can create a chat room maybe for that, specifically for proposals, so that we can start submitting it, maybe brainstorming there, and then use that as a way to kind of prepare for this meeting. And then, yeah, that's what I think we could do.
Sounds good.
And then come proposal time, just, you know, come ready. That's your pitch for the week. It's not what your contributions. This is your contribution is your work on the proposal that you're proposing, and then how much people value that proposal. And I think, you know, the ones that do more due diligence on the proposal and it like laying out more actionable steps, I think is going to be a little bit more compelling. So I think this is an open opportunity for everyone here. If you're really passionate about wanting to move this fractal in a certain way, then really take some time in your proposal and think about everyone who's here. And like I said, propose things that you think can get done given what we all bring to the table in this current fractal right now.
You should also think about everyone who's not here, because we want to get these people in here, right? So having the proposals somewhere public in Discord, I like the idea a lot, because that gives them the opportunity to catch up and maybe participate and have an idea. Sorry, I started talking again. Tadas has a hand raised.
Yeah, I just wanted to, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that that other kinds of contributions besides working on your proposal could be valuable too, right? Could be respected and ranked too. Like it's, yeah, that's a question for Felix, I guess. Like as I understand, working on your proposal is just another way to get respect, like here, but that's not the only way. Like we still want to recognize other kinds of contributions which besides working on your proposal.
Right, yeah, I guess I'm just suggesting for this week, this is what we would, you know, kind of consider voting on. Not every single week are we going to be bringing proposals, but mainly this is a proposal of what direction do we want to go? First step, you know, we're all here like, well, what are we doing with the Eden fractal? So let's come up with a proposal of what direction do we want to go? And then we're going to vote on that. That's what I mean by voting on those proposals. So yeah, you know, if you're bringing a lot of other things on the table too, you know, that can be respected as well. But I'm saying, I think now this is actually like now by us saying like, hey, we're going to come up with proposals for what direction we're going. That's now by you doing that, you're contributing directly towards like what we collectively like kind of agreed and hoped to or want to see going into next week, versus, you know, a side thing that you're doing that, yeah, it could be valuable, but it wasn't really asked for. And you know, we're just getting started, but that's what I was, I guess, proposing. Does that make sense, Tadas?
Yeah, thank you. It makes sense. It might make the whole this fractal more directed and maybe more organized. That might be useful. Yeah, so,
yep.
Mark or Dan, you
Cool.
want to speak?
Yeah, cool. Thanks for that. Thanks, Felix. I think that making proposals, I mean, it's a good idea, and I'd love to see people make proposals and share ideas for the future of the Eden Fractal and what we're doing. I think that it should like just generically be just contributions to the Eden Fractal or n/or Eden n/or EOS during the actual breakout rooms, and then proposals are like a subcategory within that, kind of like how Tadas was getting at, and also kind of like how I think Martin was getting at too. Like there might be people who are building, you know, great wallet apps, something like that for EOS, who aren't really interested in deciding the direction of the Eden Fractal, but I think we should be inviting them. And if they wanted to come and just share, you know, like this cool app that they're building on EOS, and then I would also be happy to respect that as well. But I do think it's a great initiative to encourage people to share proposals, but I don't think that should be just the sole requirement. And then also one other thing I'll add too, I see a lot of people have their hands up, is related to what Martin was asking about where the proposals would be. So one, I agree, using Discord's a great idea to share proposals. And so that's awesome. And then there's a lot of people here who might not have been on the past call from the Fractally Genesis call or have been following. Dan Larimer recently shared a blog post called the Genesis Fractal Branding Interim Group Consensus Process, which I think Felix briefly described, where basically it's a process to pass proposals that we might want to consider. You know, before, like the Fractally white paper has like 12 teams and all this more evolved and sophisticated forms of governance. But just to start, he basically laid out a process whereby people who are ranked 6 in like the past week or past couple weeks, something like that, can come together and form a consensus to make decisions for the Fractal. So I just posted a link there, and if you haven't checked it out yet, then I'd recommend to check it out, because I feel like that could be a helpful tool for us as the Eden Fractal. But I see Marco, I think, had his hands up first, but Felix, this is kind of Felix's point. And also I'd love to hear from Chris. I haven't heard from Chris yet. So who would like to speak next?
You want to go?
Sure. I'd like to set a proposal right now for those who rank 6, just like we did in Fractally if you were there on Saturday, to get the ball rolling. And I believe one of the things that are needed is a distinguishing executive summary that distinguishes this meeting from the Fractally meeting on Saturday and from the chief delegates from Eden, especially following the Declaration of Independence. I put forth, this is just an opinion, not a part of the proposal, consider it, that everyone who ranked 6 would compose 1 or 2 line statement. And I would either write up the executive summary, or you guys write it up. And again, is to distinguish between the Fractally Saturday meeting and the Eden chief delegates.
Thank you, Marcus. So are you basically just asking like a high level summary of all the breakout rooms from the rank 6 for this meeting to have like to post you're saying an executive summary?
A brief executive summary of 4 or 5 sentences in total, with the contributions of those who ranked highest, and the objective of their statements would be what distinguishes this meeting from Saturday and from the Eden chief delegates.
All right. I don't know if any rank 6s want to respond to that, but a quick thing on Dan's comment. So yeah, I agree. I think if we have new people come in, right? Basically this week we're talking about bringing proposals of what direction we're wanting to go with Eden. But if we have some people come in that are developers, like I liked Martin, he pushed to have taught us rank number 1 in our group because he's the developer, and that is valuable. That the developers are in demand, and so we got to be smart about this Fractal. We got to think about that too. So if we have somebody that we want to bring into this Fractal, then we got to incentivize them to do so. So respecting them and ranking them higher is also something to keep in mind. So yeah, I think I do. Yeah, anyone bringing contributions to EOS, definitely it should be respected. But also we need to really respect too that the ones who are driving, actionable steps and delivering on what we reach as like basically the objective and motive every single week for this Fractal.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, Felix.
Chris, you want to go?
Zoom is muted. Yeah, okay, so the question I had, again, Dan, it's to your point. So it's interesting, like these meetings are very, it's kind of the point of, if you do work towards Eden, you should talk about it. If you do work towards EOS, you should talk about it. If you do work towards just the fractally process, that can be contributed. So it's quite broad. I'm wondering, as a means to like, if there was a way to focus it to maybe more towards Felix's point, could the like who's providing the funds dictate where they'd like their funds to go? So like Patrick put up 500 EOS, that was awesome. Could Patrick say, hey, I'm going to donate this 500 EOS to this fractally group, but I'd like this to be focused towards energy that's doing X? Is that within the rules of like, is that possible? Because then I'm thinking, if the chief delegates want to use this as a means to pay for work for deliberate focus that a particular chief delegate might have, or a collection of them might have, and then they pool their funds and they put it into this thing, is it reasonable that they would sort of request that the funding go towards a particular focus, and that those who are doing work should be on exactly this? Or would that be kind of breaking the intention that we have here, where it should be just broad and anyone can come and consensus wins in the room?
I think that's a great point and question, Chris. I think I'd be interested to hear what other people think, of course, too. I think what it should be is that there's an informal and like soft kind of power or like respect, basically, where there shouldn't be any hardcore rules where, say, Patrick can donate and then we must do what Patrick wants us to do. But I appreciate what Patrick is doing by donating, and whatever anybody else does, if chief delegates or whatever donates. And so when I make my votes in the room, like that's something that I would take into account to like decide, well, this person is doing something that a donor is wanting, so that's something that I might be more apt to vote for. I don't think it should be hard-coded or anything, but certainly something that we all like kind of informally keep in mind and respect and so forth. And also, I think just as like a maybe general rule, I'm still thinking about this, but I think maybe like our first and foremost priority should be the people in this group. Like we're kind of starting our own DAO now, kind of independently of EOS and Eden, because we have the Eden respect token with the people in this community. And so I feel like that should maybe be like our first and foremost priority. Of course, we're very aligned with the Eden community and the EOS community, and helping the Eden community and EOS community is like we're all members of them all, basically, but it's also like a little bit distinct. And I feel like maybe first and foremost, it should be like helping this community of people who are actually participating in these calls. And then also that's also very much related with helping EOS and Eden and so forth. But these are just also brainstorming. So I'd be interested to hear what you think about that, if that makes sense, and just what people think about this in general. I see Marco and Andrew have their hands raised. If Chris, you'd like to share some words first, or maybe if Marco or Andrew would go.
Oh no,
okay.
Yeah, those guys can go. I think I mean, it's a question I don't think we can answer. I'm just raising it as a general, like I know where I'm sort of thinking as where like what Eden can do is take funds, deliberately put it towards a goal, and then use this process to pay for folks who are working on that goal. But I'm just trying to see, is that reconcile with how everyone views this? And if it's not about a particular goal and it's just free form, then I don't think it'd be as necessarily an effective use of funds. So would that be prudent of a CD to say, here's what I campaigned on, here's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm going to throw my funds into this pot to run these fractally meetings so people can come together, decentralize, and work on it. But it turns out they're giving the money to people who did things that aren't related to the goal. I don't know if like it may not work. So I'm just trying to see, I'm just feeling it out, what you guys think about that. But to be determined. I don't think we have to answer it today. Go ahead, Marco.
Chris says what you say is it sells. It's effective. So I would say 2 multi-sigs. One for the donator's specific request, and another one only decided here. And you know, however it works, it works. The one thing we get is which one becomes more popular, gains more momentum. But it could be like a 50-50 split if you wanted to do something along those lines. And we could definitely look to Pomelo for assistance in a scaled down version of that. But yeah, the idea is effective.
Thanks, Marco. There's also
there's something I wanted to say to Chris too, but I'll hold it. And I think that Andrew raises his hand next, and then Felix and Patrick.
So yeah, on what Chris was talking about, I think the idea of whoever donated to the Fractally, or in this case, it would be the Edenon Fractally meeting. The idea that that person has undue control over essentially priorities, to me, that seems to open up the possibility of capture, and that kind of worries me. That said, the way I look at it is that I don't think there's nothing stopping any chief delegate from valuing whatever it is that they want, and then using the same information from these meetings, although the information for the meeting is going to be determined by what it is that the meeting is explicitly about. So won't quite be able to share the same info as if, like Chris was talking about, we were sort of explicitly stating a specific priority. But I think I think there's enough possibility of just using the systems that we have right now without necessarily making sure that it's all coordinated and it's sort of all uses consensus. Like, I don't need anyone to reach consensus over what I do with my own money, you know? So to me, I guess I think that this process is particularly good at identifying good work and rewarding good work and doing it in a way that has some sort of scientific validity to it. So the sort of what I would edge towards would be using this process just to pick a broad set of kind of values that we are trying to get people to kind of help with, and then judging based on that as opposed to trying to set specific priorities. That is something that's essential, and I think it's something that is accomplished. We'll see, but it seems like the intention is to use teams to accomplish those things. So anything you've got that's more specific, you can define and find people on a team to contribute. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. It does worry me, the possibility of capture. But yeah, I'm curious about other opinions.
Thank you, Andrew. No, I agree. I mean, I think within any time that money is involved, there's always a possibility of corruption, but you know, we can't let that also stop us. I do like the idea, you know, of delegates and chief delegates putting in their funds and seeing, you know, having some type of expectations. I also think that falls, some responsibility falls on the delegates and chief delegates to also realize the fractal that they're funding, the skill set and the mission that fractal has as well. So you can't just throw in a bunch of funds and then just expect them to do something that's completely off of the scope of what they've been working on, and then get upset and be like, okay, well, I'm not going to fund you anymore. That to me will show up as like, okay, that's, you know, you're not going to get elected again if you're behaving like that. So I think, you know, the Eden side of electing delegates and chief delegates, you know, I think, you know, that's probably a good way to also kind of, I think, I guess, battle, you know, the fears of what Andrew kind of brought up of the corruption, because now it's two-sided. We can also hold the delegates and chief delegates accountable for how they're choosing to fund these fractals. If it's coming like demanding and dictating, and you're not really as involved, you're just throwing in money, then you know, I don't have that much respect for a delegate that's going to do something like that. So then I may not vote for you. And so I could see, you know, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I definitely like the idea, though. I think that's how eventually you can have delegates pooling money into a fractal, and then if they're wanting to see things more shifting in another direction, then that's when you can start to have, you know, that pool of funds maybe break out into the another team of a fractal to accomplish that set of mission that the delegate or chief delegate wants to see.
Yep, it sounds good, Felix. Patrick has hands up too, so I'll pass it to Patrick now. But one other thing I'll just add quickly too is, and kind of piggybacking on Felix's point and Chris's question about like the possibility of more fractals. So like a possibility and I think eventuality and goal to make more fractals. So I think that like each fractal should be independent and not be, you know, just at the will of some other donor, because really the EOS is a nice reward on top of it, but we can function with just the respect and so forth, just like the Eden or just like the Genesis fractal is doing it. And I think that it makes sense for this Eden fractal to be more like generically focused, and I suppose that we can come to consensus as a group to coordinate what we want to do, and then also in each group, each individual can vote as they want. But then also in addition, like if a chief delegate or anybody else wants to start like a specific, you know, marketing or technical fractal or something like that for Eden, then that's also an option too, where of course it'll take more time to grow and needs to reach enough members and so forth. But for more specific purposes, we can create more specific fractals. But yeah, so that's how I'm thinking about it. It'd be interesting to hear more thoughts, but also Patrick has his hands raised up. So what's up, Patrick?
Yeah, guys, just want to tell you here that I am very proud of this Eden fractal, and just to put a little context why I have joined that, and not only give 500 EOS, that's the Irish on the cake, the 500 EOS, but that's more than that. I have decided to join Dancing Joy, Felix Ruiz, interview them just before the start of this, very start of this Eden fractal, because I believe into this process. It's more collaborative than ever. We have not that currently into Eden iteration, Eden 1.0, if we can name it like that, Eden on EOS. We need more engagement, more social engagement. It's not just about chief Eden delegates every week on the Thursday on a call, and what about the rest of the community? So here with Eden Fractal, coming from Eden Creator by Dancing Joy, Pomelo season 2, he has received some funds and he was coming with this nice idea. Now Felix is joining from Bywire, also in that. And for me, that was logical to jump in that, not because it is Dancing Joy that I love so much, and also Felix Ruiz, that is a fantastic video creator. Not about that. It's because that's the natural way to collaborate. It's the natural way to do the things. You make proof of your contribution, like on the Fractalist on the meeting on the Saturday. You make a proof of your contribution. You put some links to your contribution. Maybe you have not the time to prepare the links, so that doesn't matter. You will explain what you have made. And if the other people into your room believe that you deserve more respect than someone else, okay, fine. So for me, it's totally normal. And now the 500 EOS that I gave are into the Eden Fractal smart contract account. There is an MSIG. I am part of the MSIG. So the 500 EOS are indeed distributed, and they are not belonging to Dancing Joy, that has the owner key on the smart contract. Because if there was only one permission on the smart contract, that would be very not securized, that would be very not distributed. So we have the MSIG. So basically, no liability, taxes, not too much risk, because all belong to the smart contract. Otherwise, what is the purpose to have a smart contract? So, and this 500 EOS, for me, I want to see those 500 EOS pots that I gave to be used for nice contribution, and we will decide on those contribution. It's not just give money EOS like that. and I want to see good proposal coming into this hidden fractal. And it's not just for this season, it's for the coming next chief delegate after. We have to iterate. So we are just building the fundamentals to do the things right. And the next board of chief delegate board member after July 9, they will iterate from the very smart chief delegate that we have now. And also Chris, when you was an old delegate of last election, October 9, and Jesse Jaffe and Randall Roland, and etc. So we are just iterating. Nothing is frozen in the stone. We have the right to pivot and to basically doing a better collaboration. It's what we want. More collaboration on EOS, more collaboration on Eden, more collaboration on Fractally. We are into the same boat. And at the end, that's benefit the entire ecosystem. So that's why I have, for the first time, give some funds to something. I have never given funds until now. And I decided to use some of my donation of Pomelo and some funds of the Eden Delegate Level 1. And I was thinking where I can donate that for a good cause. And I was thinking, okay, there is charity, but charity I give sometimes, but for something else of charity, something very, I would say, something very collaborative. And I was thinking, okay, Eden Fractal, that speaks to me. I want to give that. And everyone can give something to this Eden Fractal if he wants. It's not just about me. So just to be clear why I have choose to jump into that, that was not just to say, hello guys, Nova Crypto, yeah baby. No, it's to do something very, very smart, and that goes into the continuation of what I do as always, with all my heart, soul, and mind. So guys, I think you are happy. You seem all very happy. So, or concerned, I don't know. But myself, I am very happy to be into Eden Fractal and in EOS, for sure.
Thank you, Patrick. Okay, cool. So I think, I don't know, I think we should come up with some actionable step that we can all reach consensus, at least one like thing. I think that's just beneficial. I think that we need to get into like making that like a thing that we do every week. So I don't know, are we cool with going with my proposal of everyone come in with their proposals of what direction do we want to see this, and we take a vote on that next week? Is that the actionable thing that we should hold this fractal, or do we have any other ideas or proposals?
I was just gonna respond to or follow up with Patrick's real quick first, if that's right, Felix, and then I'll come back to that if that's cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, and also kind of tying into what Chris was saying about like, would a chief delegate, would it be prudent for a chief delegate or some other person to give funding to the Eden Fractal? So like I was saying before, I don't think funding is absolutely necessary because we can operate autonomously without extra funding, just like the Genesis Faculty Group does. And that can work very well, but the extra funding is certainly very helpful to spur more, to foster more activity and engagement and excitement and progress and stuff like that. And it's very much appreciated when people do. I feel like it's like a no-brainer for chief delegates. Like, it's super smart because we're super aligned with the Eden community and what the Eden principles and Eden intentions and so forth. And like the Fractally process, I mean, a lot of people haven't been participating in it, but I've been there every week, as have Felix and Patrick and Charles been there a lot, and a lot of us. Like, it's really amazing. It's I think it's the best process in the world for like best process in the world for like coordinating helpful work and cooperating together as a community, and also bringing the community together. And like the fact that people meet together every week, like that builds community, and the fact that like the respect and the extra EOS is distributed automatically according to how much people are helping, according to like the rankings of their peers. Like, it's just like an engine that's like, I feel like it's going to take off and just really empower Eden. And the more that Eden kind of feeds it, the more that everybody will be empowered. And we can figure out as we go. And I'm interested to hear what people think about that. But I think it's just like, you look at what's happened in the Fractally group, and I've been working on a blog post to summarize it. And also James Mart shared a tweet to summarize it. And he also shared a post as well. It just like, it's been moving so much faster than the Eden group, because the process is just, I mean, I love the Eden process, and it's done so many amazing things, but just in the past 3 months since the Fractally process started, it just created like a tremendous amount of helpful work. So I feel like that applied for Eden will be really helpful, regardless of what like specific goal or whatever. Just the fact that we keep on meeting here, and like it just evolves naturally. I mean, we could do other things in addition, but I feel like just the natural evolution is on a path where it's going to be like super helpful for Eden and for everybody. And then just to Felix's point, or Felix's question, I think I'd be in favor of just like leaving it open. Like I was saying, like we can evolve it naturally. I mean, I'm very happy to hear proposals. I don't think we should, mandate that people make proposals, but I'm happy to hear proposals either during the breakout room or discuss it more in these meetings as well. But again, I'm interested to hear what everybody thinks about this. And also, just by the way, I only have 7 more minutes left to my next meeting, but I'll make whoever else co-host or host so that we can keep discussing it after. And if discussions go on, if people can record it, that'd be great. So I and other people can listen to it as well. Sorry if that was a bit of a ramble.
Yeah, no worries, Dan. Yeah, I need to hop off here too at the top of the hour. I think it would also be beneficial if we cap 2 hours. I know that's a lot of time, but I do think this after discussion is really important. Maybe we can work on the time later too, within this group. But yeah, if we can have some set time for this after discussion so that we can do the after meeting like objectives. Yeah, so my thing is, yeah, we don't have to mandate anything. I think it would be helpful though to have like basically see where everyone is at, so that basically this whole Fractal now knows, like, if everyone's pretty much like cool with, yeah, that's like the target that we should aim for next week is doing proposals. Obviously, if you're doing other contributions, that's also always welcome. But going into next week, now we have an idea of what we're wanting to vote on, because we all here kind of agreed on it beforehand. So I guess that's kind of what I would propose. Maybe if we do something where we all use the little reaction thing and raise our hand for voting on this. I don't know. I think this stuff's important. I think we need to gauge in and lock in like our voices of like, okay, yeah, this is what we want to do, and then this is what we're looking to vote for next week, and then that's just going to make it more effective. And like I said, also not saying that it's mandated, but we will also take other things into consideration. And as this group here, as us wanting to grow and be as powerful as we can with being productive, just keep in mind, like, we want to incentivize people that are coming in that's new. And if they, brought a lot of contributions, we make sure to rank them, to incentivize them to come and stay in. So I guess if nobody else has any like remarks, yeah, I like Chris has the little yes thing. So if you guys want to just put the little reaction or something, or I feel like everyone's saying yes here too. Everyone's shaking their head, so that may be good too. So I don't know. It's hard to like just say like I randomly like without a set in stone yes or no. But I guess it doesn't really matter.
Jay is asking vote for what? And I think it's not really super clear what we're doing here.
Vote for what?
So I would say we're voting on if everyone is kind of aligned with really using the, like, going into next week, bringing proposals is going to be highly valued and respected going into the next week. I guess that, yeah, hopefully that makes it more simple.
Yeah, and one thing about the proposals, can this Fractal decide to go parallel on 2 proposals? Like, let's say one proposal is, hey, let's rally all the developers together, so as soon as possible we have a UI that's functional and that we can use. And there are other people that want to work out what's a good marketing plan, and these people can basically create teams. And then we have initiatives that people can then say, okay, last week I was working with this group and we had internal meetings and that was my contribution. So we can basically ratify a team or an initiative or a proposal to say, okay, that's the valid direction that this fractal wants to go, but that not the whole fractal needs to go in one direction. And it's just like a, that sounds to me very bipolar. We can either do that or that, but we have a very versatile group of people here. I think we can go in various directions with the skill set pool that we're having. But I like the idea of verifying that the proposal is indeed a team or initiative that we want to value in future voting rankings, etc.
Yeah, so maybe perhaps you can, it's either a proposal or you're announcing your initiative, and then at the end of the meeting, kind of getting an agreement or seeing how the community feels, so that you feel that, okay, if I go after this initiative, it is going to be respected. Everyone kind of agreed to it, so then it leaves it up to you to take part of that initiative. So I guess we basically have two initiatives proposed right now. Bring in the proposals for what direction this Eden fractal should go, and then also Martin's proposal of bringing more developers together into this Eden fractal. Is that correct?
No, it was an example. No, it was just an example about like that you can basically run and propose an initiative, and then if everybody says, okay, that brings value to this fractal, and we have, even if I'm not the developer, I would say, okay, that's an initiative that I want to support. So therefore, we, let's say, create like a group on the Discord where this initiative can discuss this further and see what kind of tasks are needed, do some form of task management, and then people can, throughout the week, organize their work and, cooperate, and then come back into the weekly meeting and said, look, I did this, and it's transparent for everybody that's in the Discord, right? But it needs to be verified by the whole group as an initiative or as a proposal that this is long-term something that we value and rank people when they contribute. So it's not as random anymore that somebody can come in here, yeah, I raised my chickens somewhere and I named them EOS or whatever. I'm sorry, bad example.
I have no chicken, I have cats. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, Martin.
I'm
just going to speak
I need to go
for
to the next meeting and Dan as well.
Okay. Is there anybody who would like to be host? We still have like 12 or something people here, and some of us are leaving. But if anybody else would like to continue, then I can make you host, Andrew. Or
I got to head out too, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Top of the hour.
Okay. Would anybody else?
So I posted the Discord. Yeah, I posted a Discord link for anyone who's not in the Discord. We'll get that organized. And yeah, I encourage, that's a great way though too. I think us being active in there is a great way to also measure who's actually being active with thinking about the Eden fractal throughout the week too. So
sounds great. Thank you, Felix. So should I end the Zoom meeting, or are people still interested in speaking? I would encourage if anybody's interested, and I'd be happy to make anybody host.
Happy to drop off. Thanks to everyone. This has been a great call.
Thank you, Chris. The only one chief delegate, all chief delegate coming. Thank you. Shout out for that. Shout out.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yes, baby. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you everybody so much. It was great meeting, and thanks so much. All right, see you.
Thank you very much.
Great meeting. Thanks everybody.
Thank you, Jorge.
See you.
Hey, Patrick.
Go EOS.
Go
EOS.
So,
go Eden.
3,
Go Eden
2,
fractal.
1, 0. Go fractal.
Eden fractal. What's that?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay.
Go fractally.
Okay, go fractal.
And the last one.
I gotta end it now.
3, 2, 1, 0.
All right. Go everybody.
Why don't we go now?
Go everybody.
Take
care.
See you everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, see you everyone. See you next week.
Bye.
Jorge. Bye, Jorge.
Bye.